Today we are doing another odometer gear repair. This is in a 93 911, so it's a 964, and it's also a Tiptronic. The Tiptronic is pretty different once you get inside here. So we've removed this. I'm not going to show how to take the needle off and all that because I got that in lots of other videos that you can see. Normally what you see right here is the odometer. Don't touch any of the numbers or anything. And then down here is usually another strip tumble of gears. So you can see this is all ribbon cable that goes down from up here from the light telling you which gear you're in, down through here and then out to the computer for the transmission and the control unit. So anyways, you can't remove this without removing all this. And I don't want to touch this because I already tried prying on it a little bit and it's really stuck. I don't want to crack a solder joint on this rear circuit board or anything, so I'm gonna do it maybe a little bit differently on this one. So our odometer gear is inside where this motor is right here. So we're gonna remove these screws right here. And then if we gently pull the motor back, you can see the first gear that's down there. A couple different things going on down in there. I can see the broken gear. So we're going to be very careful because I don't want to break this. I've tried already removing these wires out of here, but I pulled on them and they didn't come out. So again, I don't want to go crazy pulling that stuff out because you'll just end up breaking it. We're going to try doing something like this. So here's the gear right here. I'm going to grab it. The gear's kind of all stuck together. Okay. So there's that gear. Here's a broken piece of the gear. Here's the tooth that's actually broken. It's tricking me because it's on the inside over there. So I'm going to remove the one broken gear, little tooth that I see right there. Grab it with these little pliers. Oh, boom, right there. See that gear? There's the broken portion of the gear. And that used to go right down where it went was right there on the gear. This is the setup with the E15 and the 16 small pod gear with odometer gears. This is sold by Odometer Gears in two pieces. There's the one. There's the one. Now we can count these teeth and make sure there's basically 15, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then we're basically missing 2, right? I found one. Let's just make sure we don't have anything else stuck inside there anywhere because it doesn't go very far. They can't go far. And if you don't get everything out, the thing will stop working. I know some people recommend to blow this piece off. I've always been a little bit nervous to like take shop air and blow it down inside here because if one of these things goes flying off or anything, this is a very fragile, delicate piece of machinery here. So I just look really close at all this stuff and I'm just looking for any little broken gear that's inside there, and I don't see anything. This 16 pod gear, they call it, by Porsche is manufactured in two pieces, and then it's basically glue riveted together. The new one that you get from Odometer Gear is one piece. So it looks like this. I think I may have found the other gear. It was just stuck to the other gear. So there's two little pieces. Let's see if we still have our 13 here. I think we do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we still have 13, 14, 15. So we got all the pieces out. The other one was just stuck to the other gear tooth right next to it. Now, to put it back together, just set him right in there like so. Okay. Then I'm going to see if I can just stack this guy. And don't go grabbing the side of the gear, you're just going to break it. So it's a pretty robust gear. Perfecto. So now that guy's back in there. We're back in business there. And then we need to get the axle of the motor back through the center of our 16 pod gear. There we go. It's all walking back in nicely. Okay. So now this blue wire went down here like this, and the black wire went down there like that. Okay. These two screws go right in here. So it's definitely a lot easier to remove that entire piece on the non-tip Tronic. Okay, there's that. That's it. So this odometer gear is fixed, and so now let's crimp this whole assembly back together and talk about what we're doing there. We're going to clean the needle. We're going to reinstall the needle right on top of the motor drive, the electric motor right there. And we're just going to push it down like so, right in the middle. Now to set it, because it needed to stop on this line, so we're going to reverse the stop like so. We're just going to push and right there, we're just going to turn this guy like so. Very, very gently. We're going to get it to stop perfectly. So that orange needle is faced perfect on that bottom dial. Now we're going to take our two flathead screws that hold the face down, drop them right in there. And these don't need to be very tight, they're very small screws. And you want to use a very small screwdriver for this, or else you're just going to end up marring the head of the screw. Oh, these are actually lining up pretty good. See how they're both lined up? That's perfect. Okay. Now, this is a two-piece bezel. Some of these are three-piece bezels. So this is a two-piecer. I'm just going to make sure that the inside of this ring is clean. And these are just indexed, you know, one here. That index goes right there and there. And it's sitting all the way flat down on it like that. Just clipped in perfectly. Then we're going to take this. There's an index there and there, and they fit in just to the top here and here. We're going to make sure that this outside is clean. When you go to remove this, everybody's very tempted to take like a plier and pry again to unfold this bent edge. They try to take a plier and bend and use this like as a prying lever area. Don't ever do that. You have to painstakingly go all the way around with a screwdriver and peel the piece off all the way around. It takes about 15 minutes to remove one of these bezel rings. Now let's put the glass in. We're going to make sure that the glass is very clean. It's the car's almost 30 years old, so it just has like, 30-year-old film of dust and haze on it. It looks very good. Hold it up in the light. Make sure you don't put any fingerprints on it or anything. And the glass is going to go just like so. Now, we're going to line this up with that. And we're going to see if there's a better from the upper. So which side looks better? Because when it sits down, when it sits in the car, you're sitting in the car just like this. Your eyeballs are up here, so you don't see the bottom. So what side? So you mostly just see this top edge right here. So what side is better? This side or 180 degrees? This side. I'm going to say the other side's better. That's back in. Hold it up again. Make sure there's no marks on the inside of the glass because it's very easy to remove now. Once this thing is crimped back on with this tool, you're going to spend 30 more minutes taking it apart and putting it back together. We're ready to crimp this thing back in. So we get lots of phone calls on if we do odometer gears, if you want to do like a mail-in odometer gear. And I always tell people yes. This is a custom tool that I made. So anybody can do the steps that we've already done that's in my previous videos. Take the gear out, put a new gear in, take the glass out, decrimp the bezel. It's just a bunch of tedious work that you got to spend a lot of time on. This, I spent a lot of time, about 10 hours, fabricating this tool. And this crimps the bezel perfectly back into position for this odometer. This is a machined exact set height. So it's gonna lay right in here. We're gonna take this guy, flip it upside down. We're gonna make sure that it's fully seated all the way on, all the way around, which it is. It's fully seated. We are going to press this over the top of it. Lay it down like so. And then these are just two bearing rollers. These are IMS bearings off of a Porsche. So it's just like a... So what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll this guy around like so. And we're gonna come over here with this tool and it's gonna come in and push down against this bezel ring over here. And push it in. And push it in. And I'm gonna push the depth on this guy a little bit more. I want it a little tiny bit lower. And then we're just gonna start rolling it. So see how we're crimping that piece slowly around. We're slowly rolling that bezeled edge back around. All the way around. And we're just going to put a little bit more tension on this guy. And we are going to fold this completely all the way over. A lot of people right now in this process would stop because the bezel is now holding the glass in. The purpose of that bezel is just it holds the glass and then that other black inner bezel. There's an inner bezel and an outer bezel and a glass sandwich between. Right now, you can say that this bezel is going to hold the glass in, but it's not how it came from the factory. With this tool that I made, we're going to go ahead and fully crimp this edge completely over, and when we're done, it's going to look like it came out of the factory. We've crimped that all the way up over now. Now that bearing is basically touching the body. The glass is totally tight. The glass won't rattle, it won't shake, because that's what's holding the glass in and steady is how much leverage you can get against this bezel. If you want us to mail order some odometers to us, some speedometers, you can send them to our address and then we can do it and use this tool and get you all dialed in. This thing's done, ready to be tested.